So I'm going to throw another heaping helping of time travel
Okay.
to our audience. We have still not been to Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened yet. We talked about it episodes ago of being excited about it.
We still are.
Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. We're very excited because we have not gone.
Well, and then us in the future, when people are listening to this, we're loving it.
Yeah.
I assume.
We're probably there.
Yeah.
You know, well, the episodes come out on Fridays.
Yeah. We're not there.
We will have just been there and we will be going again
Very soon.
Yeah. So, it's a constant, kind of ebb and flow of both being or waiting to go back. And then, once the season ends, that first weekend of November, once that happens, it's basically the rest of the year is that ebb of waiting.
Yeah.
And then the flow is because I'm incontinent and I just pee all over the place. So one of the things I'm most excited about, because, they do nights of sort of previews and whatnot for cast members and for whomever at Halloween Horror Nights. But one of the things that they keep showing off is Art, the clown.
Right.
From the Terrifier series is like a presence in the parks. Like he's there. He just sort of wanders around and apparently he's like left free range to just fuck with people.
Right.
Which is going to be great.
It's wild.
They haven't done stuff like that for a very long time. So I'm excited to see that kind of return. But in the spirit of that, I had a thought and it was really dumb.
Okay.
But we did, the first time we talked about Horror Nights and getting ready for the season in a way that was like, our episode where technically that it comes out opening weekend. We did a big tier list for our hype for our houses and whatnot. So now I want to give you a different experiment here. I want to see it's the classic, right? It's the classic troublesome nerdy podcast trope, right?
Okay.
We've done it. Everybody's done it. Anybody with a podcast has done something similar. Who wins in a fight?
Okay.
Fight to the death. It's a battle royale of spooky clowns.
Oh, spooky clowns scare me.
Right. And they scare everyone as well they should, but there's 5 of them.
Okay.
They're all in an arena. Probably a McDonald's play place.
That's good.
And they're fighting to the death. The 5 of them are Art the clown. Yeah. From Damien Leones or Leones?
Sure.
Damien Mayonnaise's Terrifier. Jack the Clown.
The clown.
From, the Horror Nights proper, their first icon. Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
The clown.
Yeah. The Joker.
The clown.
No, just the Joker. But like the comic version, not Joaquin's or Heath's, just comic book Joker.
Okay.
And then home court advantage, Ronald McDonald. You've got those. Yeah, sure. You've got those 5 the clowns and they are trapped in an arena and they fight to the death. Who wins?
Which Pennywise?
I'm going to say Skarsgård's.
Okay.
Because that kind of fits.
He's
better.
a little more vicious.
Yeah, it fits more than, and I love Tim Curry, but he is not up to the challenge at this point.
Yeah. I think that Jack the Clown and Art the Clown are like similar enough in their joy of terrorizing people for like just kind of the sick thrill of it all. And they have kind of a supernatural background to both of them.
Yeah, they both seem to be either demonically possessed, undead, something of that.
Yeah.
Of that nature. What I would say is that Pennywise is the curveball because technically he's like a demon, like an alien monster. That's apparently just 3 lights that spin around. But the problem is that he loses his power if the people he's terrorizing aren't afraid of him.
Right.
And you've got...
It's very Freddy Krueger of him.
Yeah, you've got 5 psycho clowns, 4 of whom are his competitors. It's like they're not afraid.
Yeah.
They're psycho clowns.
Yeah. What are they to be afraid of?
Yeah. I'm going to say Jack probably has the fiscal resources. He's got all of the backing of Universal at his fingertips.
Yeah.
He's probably got that American Express Black Platinum card, swipes it. He gets an entire torture rack delivered Amazon Prime next day.
Yeah.
Why Amazon Prime offers torture racks, I will never know. The Joker kills cities worth of people all the time for a lark.
Yeah.
He fights against superpowered creatures all the time.
But at least 3 of these 5 are supernatural in their own ways.
Sure. And then finally, I would say, do you count obesity linked to the fast food craze and epidemic in this country as murder?
I'm glad you brought that up because, I think maybe Ronald has the upper hand here in the long run.
Yeah.
Because who can really,
resist the double quarter pounder? That's what it is whatever the fight is, if Ronald catered, he gets them all at the end anyway.
Yeah.
The clown. Hello and welcome to the Third Channel Podcast,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
And a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today the only thing we're here to talk about is dog shit. I'm not going to call this one horror. No, okay. I don't want to break it because we're going to try to do branding with it.
Yeah.
The only thing we're here to talk about is horror. The horror is Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
So
the final Friday?
Yeah, like I want to go to hell now because I've seen it. Actually, no, I don't want to go to hell. I'm in hell. This is hell on earth. I think this is the closest that I've ever come to just genuinely being like, I don't think we do this one. Like
so far. Yeah.
Like I think that it would be acceptable to put out put out a post saying, hey guys, sorry. If you were looking forward to Jason Goes to Hell, it's not happening. We don't have the strength of character needed to discuss this film.
That's funny to think about because I am interested to know, like, when it comes to ones like this that are pretty universally reviled in a franchise. Do the people listening, do they wonder what we think? Do they want to know what we think? Do they think that we're going to have some take that's just like, oh, maybe they enlighten me to something that I didn't see about this? Or are they just like, man, I can't wait to hear them suffer?
So, well, there's the phrase "misery loves company," which this is what anybody who's seen this movie. This is your company, Misery. Man, Misery's a good movie. We can talk about that.
We could.
Kathy Bates.
It gets mentioned in here, I'm pretty sure.
But then the other thing that I would say is I don't play Magic. I never have and I never will.
No.
But I one time I accidentally was watching this video, right? And it's this game of these people playing, and they're a big enough channel that they had like a fan raffle. Like you could win a contest and then go on the show and be one of the 4 players. And the guy who won was really nice. He had a really cool deck, I guess. I wouldn't know. But the thing that annoyed me so bad was that one of the people at the table, it was the 2 hosts, 2 guests. One of the guests was a fan. One of them wasn't. Just kind of a regular. And that regular went after the guest right from the start and knocked him out of the game first. Like 30 minutes into an hour-long, 20-minute video.
That sucks.
And it's like, so I thought, man, what a fucking asshole. Like, what a shitty thing to do. So I Googled that person's name, and then I didn't know what else to Google, and I Googled that person's name and fucking sucks. Because I wanted to see if people agreed. And it was just post after post of like, fuck this person. I can't believe they would do that. What an asshole. I can't believe this. Because all the YouTube comments were extra positive about it. And so seeing other people hate the thing that I, in that moment, hated so much, it didn't make me feel as alone. It's like a support group in that way. And I think that what we're doing in this episode is functioning as a rehab for people who have either by choice or mistakenly seen Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Now, what I will say is that one person doesn't need rehabilitating. One person needs to convert us. Because Walker gave Jason Goes to Hell 4.5 stars.
Wow, nearly perfect.
Near perfect. That is insanity.
Huh.
We bring it up a lot. This guy in his reviews, we bring it up a lot because it's, it's whatever. It's funny. It's harmless. That's harmful. That's going to hurt people. People are going to see that and go, 4.5 stars. Jason Goes to Hell must be pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they're going to watch it and their eyes are going to pop out like weird little worm tongue mouths. Not worm tongue from Lord of the Rings, just wormy tongues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, not surprising for his whole shtick.
No, it's surprising from the perspective of humanity.
Yeah.
How could you? How could you? Did this movie, because we've talked about your trajectory in the horror world, started really young, early teens, maybe even a little younger, the cooking show with Lost Boys that ruined your life. But with this film, we talked about watching Jason Lives with Nathan and how these movies really impacted you. Did this movie fuck that trajectory up for you at all?
This was, I don't know if at the time I had heard that this one was bad. This one is, because of when it's released, I was technically alive.
Technically?
Yeah. Well, because I think I technically, in the timeline of everything, and one of the last ones, I was like, oh, I was alive during the events of this movie. But
Right.
I'm not. But in this one, I was 2 years old.
Technically alive made it sound like you were being kept alive. Like you were, like modern technology was modern 90s technology.
Yeah, but I got better.
Oh, thank God.
So, but I don't remember. I feel like I got my hands on this one. I remember seeing this one in movie rental places or on the shelf at Walmart or places where they sell movies, because the cover is so striking
and weird.
And yes, it's very weird. And the name of Jason Goes to Hell, seeing the word hell on a movie poster, on a cover of a movie, was oh, that already had this kind of naughty, oh, I'm not allowed to say that, I'm not allowed to watch that, I'm not allowed to,
Would it have been better if it was Jason Gets Fucked?
Yeah. I think that was probably also at the movie rental place, but I couldn't go behind that little curtain.
Oh, right.
So, but I the little that I remember of watching this originally, getting my hands on it somehow or another, and being angry.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously big spoilers for this movie, folks. Jason, even though his name is in the title, he doesn't feature very much in this movie in the typical hockey mask version that we know and love.
What?
I know.
That's wild. Yeah, no, because technically Jason's in it the entire time, but he's in it in a stupid, weird, and poorly explained way.
Yeah. With a whole bunch of lore that we've never heard of before, and doesn't really make any sense.
An expository dialogue being given by somebody who apparently is pivotal to this universe, whom we've also never heard of or seen before.
Yeah.
How many times would you say before our rewatches, including the first time we saw it together, but not our rewatches, how many times would you say you've seen this movie?
Not very many.
Yeah.
It's not one that I return to very often at all.
It's the thing for me. You're more of a completionist. You'll watch them in order, right? So even if you don't want to, man, for me, there's no way. If we did not do this show, there is no way I'd ever watch this again. Just to speak briefly on the newbie perspective, I was at an all-time high coming off of Jason Lives, and then you get into 7, and remember, I liked 7, and I still do. It's got a lot of problems, but I like the aesthetic of it. It feels like back to formula after 6 is very Hollywood. 6 has a lot of kind of jokes and whatnot. And 6 is wonderful. It's in the top 3 for certain of this franchise. But 7 felt like it's bad in the way that makes these movies fun. And then Takes Manhattan is rough. And I just finished editing that episode, and I listened to all of my criticisms, and it was the kind of thing where if you read your own book or listen to your own music or whatever, it's kind of like in South Park, you smell your own farts, but it's all the criticisms that I levied against that movie, I'm like, yeah, no, that 100%. Like, and the things that you would say about like, because it was kind of sad because you're like, I want to like it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I do.
Yeah.
And this one, man, it is not only is it a bad Friday the 13th movie, not only is it one of the worst of the franchise, the worst, it is one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just a bad film.
It is narratively, it's confusing. Visually, it's disgusting. And not in a way of like Texas Chainsaw. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a disgusting movie visually, but it's done on purpose, and you can appreciate the set dressing and the art that went into making something disgusting. Every Rob Zombie film is disgusting, but he has visioned how to do that. He is, I don't want to say visionary because I don't know how much I love Rob Zombie movies, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is disgusting in the way that like every shot is nauseating. It's the worst kind of 90s fisheye lens crap filtered into the most flat, boring, ugly, poorly lit shots. It's just everything. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, because a lot of movies that we watch fit into this. Everything that makes a movie, this does terribly.
Yeah.
So yeah, this really did fuck my trajectory up. If I'm being honest, as we continued watching all of these, because the one that we watched in order after this was Freddy Versus, which is what we'll be covering next week. And that's right. Yeah. And it got to a point where I was like, man, I don't give a fuck what happens to Jason. And Freddy's dead was like, well, I don't really care what happens to Freddy either. It's like if right now you had to have like Keith Richards and Fred Durst fight each other. Right. It's like, well, maybe at their prime, I would have been really interested, but now I just don't care at all.
Why is this the thing that we're doing?
Yeah. They're both old. They're both, I mean, Keith Richards is significantly more than Fred Durst.
You think?
Man, I don't know. But yeah, it was mind boggling. We had never watched anything this bad. I think the closest thing that we had watched that was close to this bad was like Halloween 6.
Yeah.
Is like probably the nearest to this.
Yeah, because that also is a similar sort of like the production on it was a mess. The way that it got cut apart is a mess. What we ended up with is a mess.
It's a slasher for a classic fan favorite character that tries a bunch of stuff with that character to be like elevated and heady
and like explain, this backstory and what it really takes to defeat him is this magic thing.
But it spits in the face of the originals. It spits in the face of the franchise as a whole. But then, because let me be clear, if you want to spit in the face of a franchise and you make something that's amazing, great. I don't care. That's fine. People say that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, which I keep going back to him for some reason tonight. But people say that Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 tries a bunch of weird shit and like spits in the face of that franchise. But it's a good movie. It's fun to watch from the beginning to the end. It's well constructed. It's well paced, and there are good performers in it. Yeah, it's weird as shit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's more of a Friday the 13th story than a Halloween story. But it's made by somebody who wanted to tell the story, not somebody who seems like, I don't know, man. He's like a worm. Jason's like a worm guy, and he does whatever.
Yeah. It's the choices made there are wild in his Halloween 2. But I respect Rob Zombie as a filmmaker and as an artist.
Yeah.
And so I will go on that journey with him. It's not my favorite of that series, but
Definitely
I do enjoy parts of it and kind of what he was trying for. So he was swinging for the fences, man. This one feels like, especially like going through the research of the production and stuff, it's like, the reason this dude got the job is because he was an ultra like fan of the Friday the 13th franchise.
Really?
And it's like, have you ever seen any of these movies?
I don't know. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you can be such a fan of something and then think, oh, well, I know how I would do it better. I'm going to do it better. No, you're not. No matter what you think you're going to do, you're not going to do it better than the originals. There's a reason that they have now existed. If this movie's in the 90s, there's a reason it's existed a full fucking decade of nonstop releases because it works. It resonates with the audience. Don't change it too much. I don't know. Guys, can you tell that emotionally we are a little drained? Yeah. We watched this 2 times in a row in one night.
Yeah.
And at the end of that night, I wrote my will and testament. Jason Goes to Hell. I'm looking at this fucking poster. And really quickly, I'm looking at this poster and it looks cheap as shit. It looks like a fucking clip art plug-in fire effect. Why is his mask metal?
That doesn't show up in the movie?
No.
Oh, strange.
It's the next one.
What about the worm thing? Does that show up in the movie?
No. And you'd think, yeah, and kind of.
Because there is like a little monster and a little wormy thing in the movie, but it doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that. And then like the font is weird. It just looks like somebody would. This looks like a high school haunted house fundraiser poster.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate it. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Evil has finally found a home. The fuck does that mean? Jason Voorhees is trying. Jason Voorhees is tracked down and blown to bits by a special FBI task force. Reborn with the bone-chilling ability to assume the identity of anyone he touches. Oh my God, that is so wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I watched.
Why would you spend so much time talking about him being two-thirds of that description are like he gets attacked by the FBI? That is the first.
Was that the rest of it?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's the first 5 minutes. Also, he's not reborn with the ability. That's not what the exposition says about this movie at all.
Yeah.
And lastly, it's not like a game of tag. It's not like don't let him touch you and then you become him.
Would that have been a better film?
Yes.
Like if they figured it out and they were like, oh, if he touches you at all, you become him.
I like to think yes, because I want them to keep, and I'm jumping way ahead, but I want them to keep the fact that if you stop being Jason, you turn into like Meef, like you just melt.
It's one of the few parts of this whole movie where I'm like, that's cool.
That's a cool idea. Yeah. Fuck you guys for having it. But I want them to keep that so that he's just running around and touching somebody. And as that person who touched them begins to melt, that person touches, like Jason goes to the airport.
Yeah.
And he's just touching a bunch of people. And he screams bomb.
Oh my God, that's illegal.
He gets tackled by the TSA and they all turn into Jason.
Well, and is he like multiplying when he does that, or is he just transferring one to the next?
Okay, yeah, because then you have the technical question of what happens if he touches two people exactly at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like the Dragon Ball fusion thing. If it's like one and then a nanosecond later, the one that's a little later turns a little big and fat and silly. Anything to not talk about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, was released August 13th of 1993. It's directed by Adam Marcus, who also had a hand in writing the film. It's written by Dean Laurie and Jay Hughley.
Really quickly, in our rewatch, I said, because he pops up in the beginning of the film on the Blu-ray, and he makes this little tongue-in-cheek joke about like, I'm sure this is one of the dozens of copies of this film you own. And I was like, I was going to say something really horrible, but I don't blame him. I blame the writer. Like, he has a hand in this movie being bad, but I blame the writer. And you looked at me and you were like, he wrote this too. And I was just like, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah, he's not great. It's produced by Sean S. Cunningham.
Which is surprising.
Yeah.
It's going to be produced by him in the same way that, like, technically George Lucas is like a producing credit on some of the later Star Wars movies. It's like,
no, he has a big hand in this.
He does?
Yes.
Oh, God.
It goes, I go back and forth on whether he's a good guy or a bad guy in this story. So we'll try and figure that out.
He started as a porn director.
So clearly a good guy.
There's a little bit of skis just baked into him at this point.
Oh, right. That's what you meant. The cinematography is done by William Dill, which means this gentleman's name is Bill Dill.
We've had so many. The fucking Shovel Dave was one from a couple weeks ago that I keep thinking about, that there's a guy out there whose name is Shovel Dave. Bill Dill is, oh man.
And sometimes on certain movies, he's credited that way.
Do you think Bill Dill has two lives in front of him? Two timelines. One timeline where he's a film producer. The other timeline, he's a pickle salesman.
Yeah. He also worked on Sidewalk Stories, a 1989 nearly silent comedy film that was shot in black and white. He shot a movie called The Five Hearts, which was a like showbiz drama. And then he did a dark comedy called Nervous Ticks in 92. I think Bill Pullman was in that. And then Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, which was also from 93, a horror film. And then a movie called Mantis, or Mantis, which was a 1994 TV like sci-fi superhero movie that was produced and written by Sam Raimi. So
I like him.
Yeah. It's edited by David Handman, who had been the editor for Sean Cunningham's Deep Star 6, which was an 89 sci-fi horror film. He also cut the 1990 thriller Disturbed, which starred Malcolm McDowell.
Okay. Speaking of Halloween too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the editor on Wishmaster, a supernatural horror film directed by Robert Kurtzman, who we'll speak about in a second. He comes back as the editor for Jason X, and he was the editor on Amusement, which was I think also a spooky clown movie from 2008.
Well, does he win the fight? Amusement the Clown?
I don't know if that's his name, and I don't know anything else about that.
Leave us a comment. Let us know about Amusement the Clown.
Please. The budget for this film is $3 million, which is a little less than the $5.1 to $5.5 million that Jason Takes Manhattan had. And it's just a slight step up from the $14.3 million that Manhattan took as well. This is $15.9 million. It is the third least attended film in the franchise, beating out Jason Takes Manhattan and Jason X, but it was enough to make it the highest grossing horror film of 1993. And that's basically just on name recognition alone.
Yeah. It has to be that, and there weren't many others. It's like, good Lord.
The writer-director, Adam Marcus, he also later would then work on, he directed Let It Snow, a 1999 rom-com, the 2008 thriller Conspiracy, which starred Val Kilmer, a slasher comedy in 2018 called Secret Santa, and we will get to briefly talk about him again in the future because he also wrote Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh, no.
Yeah, in 2013. The rest of the writers here, the story and screenplay were done by Jay Hughley, or I have no idea how to pronounce that name.
Hugely.
Yeah, Hugely. But he had also written 19 episodes of the Tom Selleck series Magnum P.I.
Heyo.
And then he did a movie called a TV comedy movie called Bandit's Silver Angel in 1994. No idea. And then Silk Stockings, 4 episodes of that show, whatever that was.
Okay. This is starting to make sense.
Uh-huh.
Because TV work resonates a lot with this movie.
There's a lot of TV people in this.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of TV looking shit in this too.
The rest of the screenplay was written by Dean Lorey, who had also written My Boyfriend's Back, which was a 1993 body horror comedy. Major Pain, which was a 1995 comedy, which I love. It's directed by Nick Castle, which is crazy.
Okay.
It stars Damon Wayans.
Oh, okay.
And I am like watching the scene of 2 characters in a jail cell, and one of them is breaking the fingers of the other. When we were like, why is this happening? Finger breaking carries over into Major Pain.
Okay.
So that absolutely had to come from Dean Lorey then.
Okay.
He was also the writer-producer for My Wife and Kids, which was the sitcom of Damon Wayans.
Oh, okay. Why? Oh, man. The bridges that get drawn. Damon Wayans is like the third degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, Damon Wayans for horror, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then later, also the writer-producer for Papa's House, which is a more recent Damon Wayans sitcom.
Oh, my God.
Also starring Damon Wayans Jr., who I believe was in New Girl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then he also is the writer-producer for the Harley Quinn cartoon, the Kite Man spinoff cartoon, and Creature Commandos.
Weird. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen any of the Harley Quinn stuff,
neither
but
have
I did see that first season of Creature Commandos. It's good. Very good. Yeah. As far as animated stuff goes, DC's animated stuff has always just knocked it out of the park, though.
Yeah. Honestly. Producer Sean S. Cunningham, we've obviously talked about before. He's most famously directed Friday the 13th, the original 1980 film. but he produced Last House on the Left with Wes Craven, as well as The New Kids, Deep Star 6, My Boyfriend's Back, Terminal Invasion, which had Bruce Campbell in it, and then he was the producer for the like house horror comedy franchises 1, 2, 3, and 4. And he's producer on basically the back half, the last few of these. So Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and then the remakes for Friday the 13th and Last House on the Left he produced as well. The music, Harry Manfredini comes back for this one. And
it's bad.
Yeah, it's not great.
It is just this discordant synthesizer. It sounds like Panic. It sounds like, but not like in a creative way where you can kind of melodically sound like a panic attack or like Fear.
Right.
Which I think the Halloween theme does that very well. I think Tubular Bells does that very well. This kind of sort of build up discordant music. John Carpenter is the master of scoring like that. This is garbage. It feels like a cat freaking the fuck out. And it's out of place in every scene. It stands out. We've talked about this before. One of the last things you want your score to do is stand out. Like really, like not John Williams' Harry Potter theme.
Right.
That stands out in the most wonderful of ways. But like, you do not want somebody to go, oh my God, what is this music? In the middle of a horror movie. Like they're focusing on the wrong thing.
Yes, because I like you said, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to build that frantic tension, and it doesn't. It is distracting.
Well, he's trying to build frantic tension in a movie that has less tension than a fucking like a fucking bungee cord. It's awful.
Yeah, very bad.
I'm gonna hate on everything, and you guys better be okay with it. Stop telling me I'm too cynical. I'm not. This movie's bad.
I don't disagree. So obviously after the low box office returns for Jason Takes Manhattan, Paramount Pictures sold the character rights of Jason Voorhees to New Line Cinema. And producer Sean S. Cunningham originally wanted to do an action horror film in which Jason fights Freddy Krueger. But New Line placed that idea on hold, prompting him to generate a different script that would precede that plot line. And so Adam Marcus was then brought on by Cunningham to direct this film under the notion that he must remove Jason's hockey mask. Now, apparently Cunningham has denied ever telling Marcus to, quote, find a way to get rid of that fucking mask. But Marcus still to this day says that Cunningham's claim is true and that he insisted that he did not have that level of creative control. Cunningham also apparently demanded that the events of Jason Takes Manhattan be ignored. And they mostly just focus on, like, they think of this movie as a direct sequel to the original, not really taking into consideration anything else that has happened to him.
I guess that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to do that.
Right.
That's really stupid. I'm fine ignoring some of it, but you shouldn't ignore the entire franchise.
Yeah.
But to make a new continuity that only takes in one film, I guess the story of this that tracks, they barely mention anything.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Adam Marcus's initial pitch saw Elias Voorhees, which in this movie is revealed to be Jason's father, but in this initial idea, I think it was more supposed to be his like long lost brother or something. But Elias Voorhees digging up Jason's body at the beginning of the film, eating his heart and taking on his like supernatural powers and then going on a killing spree. But Jay Hughley was then hired to flesh out Marcus's idea into a full script. According to Marcus, he had originally written the character of Stephen Freeman to be Tommy Jarvis from parts 4 through 6. But New Line Cinema only owned the rights to Jason and not Tommy, so they couldn't legally use it. He also explains that New Line Cinema did not own the Friday the 13th title, which explains why this one is called Jason Goes to Hell and the next one's called Jason X. Because they literally just sold off the character rights to Jason Voorhees.
Right.
According to Cunningham, Hughley's final draft was, quote, awful, unintelligible, and a hodgepodge of a script, but they were coming up against a deadline, and so New Line wanted to see a finished script within a couple of days, or else they would just cancel the project. So then Cunningham recruited Dean Lorey, and they sat in a room for 4 days, not allowing him to leave until they had a script that they could film. And in the process, they basically threw out everything that Hughley had already worked on And Laurie's initial concept I thought was interesting, which was, to follow up Jason Takes Manhattan with Jason Goes to L.A., in which two rival gangs would be fighting, and then Jason would show up and start murdering them. So the rival gangs have to band together to defeat Jason.
That's amazing.
Which is kind of what happens in Predator 2.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I find that interesting, which had come out like 3 years prior, I think.
Yeah. All I can think of is the episode of South Park with the Bloods and the Crips, and it's like, and they brought marshmallows and ginger ale.
That's what this movie needed.
That would have been amazing.
But the impending production start shot down that pitch immediately. So Laurie stayed on as a kind of ever-present sounding board on the set, and Cunningham had Louis Abernathy, who had scripted Sean's movie Deep Star 6, and Leslie Bowen, who was the writer of Nightmare 4, The Dream Child, to perform uncredited rewrites on the whole thing. The film marked, believe it or not, it marked Adam Marcus's debut film. Marcus was 23 at the time. Wait, did I say? I meant Nightmare 5, The Dream Child. The writer, Leslie Bowen.
They're all dream something.
Yeah. But yes, this was Adam Marcus's directorial debut after recently graduating from film school. He was originally attached to direct My Boyfriend's Back for Touchstone, but the studio, the parent company is Walt Disney Studios, and they didn't want to hire a first-time director, so he was dropped from that. But he was a lifelong fan of the Friday the 13th series, and so he developed a story in which Voorhees is destroyed at the beginning of the narrative, only to then manifest himself in the bodies of other people and continue his rampage. He later acknowledges the concept similarity to that of the movie The Hidden, which was a 1987 movie directed by Jack Shoulder, actually. And though he stated that he had not seen the movie at the time, so the similarity was coincidental.
Yeah.
But he decided that he wanted to create the most deliberately stereotypical and cliche opening of the film to kind of toy with the audience expectations, only to have the, death of Jason by SWAT team, which I will say I enjoy the opening 8 minutes of. I like the idea of that as your open.
Yeah.
I just wish that anything else had been done afterwards.
Yeah.
The special effects.
You know what would have been really good after that?
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking about this now. What would have been really good after that? Like the lights kick on, he gets shot to hell, and then credits.
Yeah.
That'd been great.
Yeah, it's a perfect little short film.
Yeah,
8 minutes. Jason goes to hell. He sure did.
And then you
Credits
see him
roll.
just getting absolutely plowed by the devil.
But Freddy had already been dead at that point. So are they hanging out?
Yeah, Freddy went to heaven.
Oh my God.
Yeah, priests are all fine with all the stuff he did.
Oh, because of the dog thing. He, the dog pissed on him and brought him back to life, and all dogs go to heaven. I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate that rationale. His
You
mom was
should.
a nun.
Oh, okay. So he on his deathbed, he
Jason's mom was a nobody.
yeah.
She
was
got
she was a cook.
she got
at
her
a summer
head
camp.
chopped off. It's a classism. We're marking on classism.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, okay.
But we're punching up, everybody. We're definitely.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. Whew, that was close. The special effects on this movie were provided by Al Magliochetti and the effects studio of K&B EFX.
Hey.
The former had signed onto the film after friends from K&B had notified him of its development. But Al Magliochetti, he had worked on Brain Damage, Basket Case 2, and Frankenhooker, which are all directed by Frank Henenlotter.
I've heard Basket Case is very good. I have not seen it. I have seen Frankenhooker, and it's just delightful.
I have seen all three of those movies, and I love them. So I like a Frank Henenlotter film. He also has done visual effects for Terminator 2, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, The Addams Family, Star Trek 4, Hook, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which is the John Carpenter film, and RoboCop 3.
I haven't seen RoboCop 3, but everything else I like quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And then K&B EFX Group, we've talked about. They're made up of Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, and Howard Berger, or Berger, because I pronounce it differently every time.
Well, now you've done it both ways.
But they first worked together on Evil Dead 2. That's where we talked about him before. But they also did the effects for Intruder, which was in 1989, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Misery in 1990.
Oh, there it is.
They did the effects for Army of Darkness, and then they worked with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez on a lot of their stuff.
Very cool.
This was a strange bit of information I found, which was Tony Todd auditioned for the role of Creighton Duke.
Get the fuck. That would have been so much better.
Yeah, he was coming off of Tom Savini's 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Okay.
And Candyman.
Wow.
And yeah, he comes for this, and yeah, it went to Stephen Williams instead.
Imagine a casting director being like, no, not you. Not you, you wonderful person. We're going to cast this jackass. And he'll never act again.
Yeah. He's done some other stuff. And then Laurie Holden, who played Andrea in The Walking Dead, was the director Adam Marcus's and Dean Laurie's choice for the role of Jessica, but Sean Cunningham overruled it and then went with Carrie Keegan. The production, if you haven't been able to tell, was an absolute nightmare because it began in July of 1992 in Los Angeles, and Cunningham had asked for the film to be shot at 22 frames per second instead of 24. Now, his reasoning behind that is confusing. He thought that it was something about the way that actors, whenever you would tell them to, go,
Action.
action, that they would like take an extra beat to like begin going. And
Sure.
so by shooting it at a faster rate, it would kind of cut down on those moments. But then the problem is that your audio is then out of sync because movies are shot at 24 frames a second. And so then you had to retime the audio and then the video after the fact to fix that. Also, the other thing that they didn't consider is that when you're shooting faster, you actually end up with less movie. So whenever they thought that they had a 90-minute movie, they really had an 80-minute movie.
Okay, but hold on. Because that's not the director. You're saying that's Sean Cunningham.
Yeah.
He's been doing this at this point for a long time, like 20 years.
He had done that on a previous movie, and he liked the effect that it had. He thought that it fixed the problem that he was seeing, and so he was like, "Yeah, you should do that on this one too."
He is just a fucking asshole, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's like, because I've seen interviews with him, and he seems like kind of used car salesman-y.
Every time that someone has said something about like, "Oh yeah," and then Sean did that, he always is like, "I never said that," and they're like, "Yes, you did."
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. Oh no, because this whole time we were worried about Mancuso Jr. becoming the asshole, but it was Cunningham all along.
All along.
That Cunningham.
Marcus claims that he clashed with Cunningham following the dispute over creative decisions near the end of filming. And apparently, like, half the film was reshot by Cunningham, who was unsatisfied with the initial cut. Basically, the normal procedure on a movie is that the director and the director of photography watch the dailies to verify that they have the shots that they need for the movie. But in this case, the only person that actually viewed that footage during their initial shoot was the editor, David Handman.
What?
So the others were too focused on moving on to whatever they were doing next, meaning that no one else was making sure that they got like usable footage. And so a lot of
this man has been doing this for 20 years.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Absolutely insane. But apparently, like, all of this was kind of blamed on Adam Marcus being a first-time director and making these mistakes. Like, apparently there was like an 8-minute sequence that he shot in nonstop slow motion, which was like the diner massacre scene, which was unusable at that point. And that any like dialogue scene were shot in the most like slow, uninteresting way that they just couldn't be used. So they were only able to salvage about 45 minutes out of that initial shoot.
Okay. For those of you at home or in your car or, I don't know, on a fucking train or under a bridge or something, my mouth is wide open. I am amazed by this. I'm also amazed that you're under a bridge. Get out from under there.
Yeah.
Don't do heroin with Anthony Kiedis. Get out of there.
So with that in mind, as much as 43 minutes of the final film came from reshoots or repurposing of footage, which means that storylines were completely dropped, like Diana and the sheriff being engaged and planning their honeymoon. Other storylines were added via like creative editing, which was, I guess, Jessica and Robert Campbell being a couple in the movie was just added in editing.
How?
I don't know.
How do you edit? What?
And then they had compressed some of the vital scenes, such as Creighton Duke explaining the rules. And after all of that, Cunningham still found that the finished film was beyond embarrassing, saying, quote, Adam came to me and said the last thing that fans want is to see Jason going through Camp Crystal Lake chopping up teenagers again. But of course, that is the only thing that they wanted to see, and Adam delivered this movie that was so not good.
Okay. Now I'm back on his side because that's perfectly true. Anybody that likes this series that says that sentence, the last thing people want to see is Freddy Krueger slashing teenagers in their dreams.
It's like what have you been watching?
What do you think we want him to do? Fucking Nightmare on Elm Street Part 8. Freddy Krueger instructs a driving class.
What are the tables for?
Okay, no, but that would be funny. That would have funny antics because think about it. He doesn't take off the glove.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to write like demerits or whatever. And at one point he's having to drive the car back, but he keeps getting his claws stuck in the gear shift.
Is that the same Freddy from the other movies?
Well, yeah, it's the same guy. I just don't know if it's the same character.
Okay. It's just the whole thing's odd.
Yeah. Why are they cursing?
Okay. And finally, in November of 2017,
whoa,
Adam Marcus revealed that an overlooked plot point of the movie is that Jason Voorhees is actually connected to the Evil Dead franchise. This is one of my favorite theories or things to think about in this movie.
Yeah.
Whichever way you take it. But the filmmaker has stated that, quote, Pamela Voorhees makes a deal with the devil by reading from the Necronomicon to bring back her son, which is why Jason isn't Jason. He's Jason plus the Evil Dead. And now I can believe that he can go from a little boy that lives in a lake to a full-grown man in a couple of months to zombie Jason to never being able to kill this guy. That to me is way more interesting as a mashup, and Sam Raimi loved it. It's not like I could tell New Line my plan was to include the Evil Dead because they don't own the Evil Dead. So it had to be an Easter egg. And there's a whole scene that includes the book, and I hoped people would get it and could figure out that's what I was up to. So yes, in my opinion, Jason Voorhees is a Deadite.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Why? Why not? The book's right there. The dagger's right there.
All right. Number 1, shut up. Number 2, everyone else shut up. That's not real. That doesn't make any fucking sense. From the and I'm not trying to engage with this. I'm trying to let this go because it just doesn't make any sense. Looking at every dead, because we've seen a lot of Deadites, a lot of them over the course of several movies. They have a specific set of rules if they are dismembered and buried, things that have happened to Jason. Also, they are like malicious and cruel, and he doesn't talk at all. Now, maybe he's mute, but he's also like brainless. He's very much a Frankenstein's monster. So that doesn't really follow along with it either. Deadites continuously rot. They go from perfectly living people with strange eyes all the way to cadavers in the span of an evening. Jason didn't do that. He lost his hair. Credit where credit's due. All of his hair poofed out of him like a dandelion, but he continued to be alive until he was murdered and buried, and then he stayed buried for anywhere from 5 to 25 years. Jury's out. It does no.
Yeah. Hey, Regine, what's happening? Oh yeah, I'm there now. Oh, it's great. It's disgusting. Look, I am going to want to dress it though. Maybe we can put a few body parts in the refrigerator. Well, Rich, I don't know. Talk to Harry and Props. You know what we're going for here. Twisted Secrets of the Voorhees house, revealed. Oh, and also, one more thing. Guess what tomorrow's headline is going to read? Body of slain Voorhees woman stolen from morgue. Well, last night, I stole Diana's body and I hid it here in the closet. And then I went home and fucked her daughter. Reg, you want to calm down? Listen, I'll talk Jessica into letting us shoot here, right? I'll bring the police, they'll discover the body on camera, and our ratings will go right through the fucking roof.
One thing I think that's worth mentioning, he says, then I went home and I fucked her daughter. Her daughter's a grown woman.
Yes.
That guy sounds like such a sleazeball.
Oh my God.
You know, he sounds like such a sleazeball that maybe not. But no, she's grown. She's a child, the whole thing. Yeah. The other thing that's worth mentioning about this clip is the Voorhees house.
Everybody knows about the Voorhees house.
So both of these series that we're discussing do this in tandem, where the next film, and we'll get into it more, but the next film officially labels by word, because I remember that with Freddy versus Jason. That's Freddy's house. It's like Nancy's house? It's like, no, that's Freddy's house. So apparently that's where Freddy lived all along. And then this one is like, oh, and by the way, there's a Voorhees house. They lived in a house. And it doesn't look like it's on a lake at all.
No. Here's the weird thing. This movie, even though, again, because it's not taking into account anything else apparently, and because the director, who's a huge fan of the series, has apparently never seen any of the movies because he doesn't follow any of the same stuff.
Right.
We know Camp Crystal Lake to be in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because of many reasons.
Namely because of it being in New Jersey, right?
There are signs that list, like street signs that list, you know, Crystal Lake 4 miles away, whatever. The other cities on there are cities in Connecticut. So this movie acts as if Crystal Lake is in Connecticut.
I've always liked that Crystal Lake is in Jersey, because you would imagine a story that's being told like this would be like in Appalachia or like, you know, somewhere where a little bit more podunk. I like showing that it's not a podunky area. It like geographically, it's just that's what this little subculture is. It adds character to Crystal Lake. You know, it adds character like what this movie doesn't have at all.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing to me about that clip is it's a news guy, and he's like, hey, we're gonna do this thing where we set up a bunch of fake props in this house, and we've set it up in a way that we can reveal things and boost our ratings. And that is plot points in both Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, and Halloween Resurrection. Because you have the radio guy who is there in their town to do their little Halloween show. And then he's like, oh, you live in the Myers house? We could just go over there and we should be doing the show from there.
Yeah.
And then in Resurrection, they plant a bunch of fake stuff that the kids are supposed to find in the Myers house to make his life more interesting.
Here's the question, and it's an honest one. Do you think that the guy who directed this movie is a fan of Halloween also? Or do you think he's a big fat phony?
He's a big fat phony.
This movie starts with what we said. It's an 8-minute, wonderful short film. A woman goes into a big, like, 2-story cabin, gets undressed, steps into a disgusting shower.
They do some good bits here with, like, a light burns out and she goes out to the work shed. And I couldn't fully commit.
You're good.
And then, like, you know, the door slams behind her and then she opens it and nobody's there. I love the mirror bit because she's like washing her hands and she's looking in the mirror in the bathroom. And then she opens the cabinet, closes the cabinet. Nobody's there. And then she bends down to like wash her hands in the sink and the camera follows her down and then back up and nobody's there. It's like fake out after fake out after fake out.
Yeah.
Which is like we talked about in Scream 5.
Yeah.
You have the, you know, that's perfected there.
Scream 5 does that for 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I love it.
It's good.
They tease you the whole time. Anyway, and then, yeah, she strips down. She gets in the shower, and the lights kick off again.
Yeah. And
she throws on a towel.
She's like, what could that be?
And she goes out onto the little landing there in this cabin, and she's just kind of like looking around, and she like bends down for a second, and there's just the black hallway behind her. And for a second I was like, are they going to do the Halloween thing? Are they going to have his like hockey mask reveal in the dark? And then no, he's just kind of beside her and he swings and she falls over the railing.
Now we need to talk about what Jason looks like in this movie. Jason in this movie, there are medications that you can take, specifically steroids, that they puff you up. There's also something called Coke bloat, which makes you get a big puffy face. Alcoholism swells your face. Just look at Alec Baldwin. So the question is, which of those things have made Jason's face so goddamn swollen? He looks like a meatball.
Yeah, he's been on the run from this apparent task force that's been after him for the last several years.
Yeah, he's the governor of Florida as well.
So,
So he's a meatball.
I think he's on a little bit of all of that, is what I'm saying.
The look is super inconsistent with the previous movies.
Right.
Finding out that they didn't care makes sense, but like he's no longer blackened or rotten or anything. He just is like meaty. Like his head is so swollen that like his skin is kind of growing over this like broken hockey mask. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
It's weird. Okay. This is such a fucking nitpick. He is wearing like a button down shirt.
Yes.
Tucked into pants with a belt. Like he's a janitor.
Yeah.
Strange. Like, why does he have his shirt tucked in? Do you know what I mean?
It's almost, now that you pointed out, it's almost as if they were going for the like Michael Myers like jumpsuit.
But legally distinct.
Yeah.
And then at one point he turns and you can see his back and there's like a panel of the shirt missing and you can see his like ribs like and his spine. And it's like, so wait, he is dead? It's totally everywhere. And here's the problem. When you introduce one of these characters, when you see them again, you have to do visual catch up. They don't talk. When you see Michael after a long period of time, when you see him at age 40 and it's the unfocused shot on his face and like the back of his head as Nick Castle just kind of stands and rocks in the yard of this mental hospital. It's like, now I know it's been a long time. He's still seemingly catatonic. And then the next time you see him and he's in the mask and the mask is aged and he moves a little different. It's like, yeah, those are visual cues of what our character is like, what he's been through and where he is now. This is totally everywhere. He's dead, but he's not, and he's swollen, but he's fine, and he's got his shirt tucked in for church. And it's like, it is weird. But he chases her through the woods, through the brush, eventually into a field where and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And every time I see it, it makes me laugh. Not because it's like a good joke, but because it's really stupid. Because I can just hear it like, oh yeah, do the front flip. It'll be awesome. And it's not, it's stupid. She front tumbles over a man with a blanket over his head. Right. And then a bunch of lights kick onto the field. Bunch of these agents pop up and they just start fucking blasting. They shoot handguns, assault rifles, shotguns. They throw grenades at him and they literally blow him to bits. The only thing visible, recognizable of the meaty cloud of Jason that has exploded in this field are two things. His severed head
flies off just like Freddy's at the end of Freddy's Dead.
Well, it doesn't. A bunch of heads don't come out of the head like Russian nesting dolls.
Oh, yeah. That's what this movie was missing.
No. It wasn't. And then also his still beating heart. And it's disgusting. Looks like something out of Resident Evil.
Yeah. And then, title card to credits.
And then I'll do the music that's playing the entire time. It's not bad.
It's not, your impression is not bad.
Right. The music's terrible.
Very good.
The music's so bad it makes me want to literally die.
Jason Voorhees in this film is played by Kane Hodder. We, of course, have talked about his stunt work before, but like we mentioned before, I'll talk about his acting as well. He was in a horror movie directed by Rennie Harlan called Prison. That's the one where he did the thing where he had like live maggots in his mouth whenever he was like brought back to life.
We're going to have to see that because I like Rennie Harlan too.
Yeah. He was in the 1988 horror film Waxwork where he played Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, okay.
He did stunt work as Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. He was in Ghoulies 3, Pumpkinhead 2, Wishmaster in 97. He is in the 2003 Daredevil, like the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie.
You've mentioned that before. I just don't know who he would be.
He was Fallon's bodyguard, who I don't know off the top of my head, but
he's either master or it's blink and you miss it.
Yeah, it's a lot of his roles, unfortunately, are like that. There are a couple things where he gets, some meteor stuff. He did a cameo in Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon in 2006.
Okay.
Which I love. And then he is in more recent years, and I say that now, and it's been like 10 years since the first one came out, but he is in Hatchets 1, 2, and 3, as well as Victor Crowley, playing both Victor and Thomas Crowley.
I literally cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this so many times on this show. I cannot wait for that series.
Yeah.
That's why I'm such a big Kane Hodder fan, is because those movies are so fucking good. And then one thing I want to add to his kind of repertoire of
I think I'm going to hit there. Because he was also in, also with Adam Green, who did the Hatchet films. He was in 2011's Chillerama. He plays Meshuggah.
Whoa.
Which is also like a Frankenstein's monster.
That's pretty cool.
But I think what you're going to get at is he's done the mocap.
It's recent work, yeah.
As Jason in the Friday the 13th video game, as Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game.
Very cool.
And as...
Yeah, now in this game, we mentioned this game in a cold open either last week or a few weeks ago, I can't remember. But they have a new Halloween game where you play as Michael. Even in the single player story, apparently you are playing as Michael and just slaughtering your way through Haddonfield. Well, so Nick Castle allegedly, and all of this is alleged, but allegedly Nick Castle is doing the mocap for Michael during cinematics.
I've seen him in a mocap suit.
But for gameplay motion capture, Michael is Kane Hodder.
Nice.
And I mean, god damn, that's the coolest news.
Which in a way then...
He's been all three.
He has been all three. And at the end of this film, he plays Freddy's hand coming out of the ground.
Oh, that's right.
He's really played all four.
Yeah, and Victor Crowley, it takes all of them in a fight.
Now he just needs to be his own hulking version of Art the Clown.
Super Art?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
We move next from our unfortunate nice little thing here at the top.
Yeah. The funny thing is, during these moments in the movie where you kind of get from A to B, I always want to just rush through it and be like, okay, let me get this out of the way really quick, because it's not worth talking about. There's nothing impressive about it. But if I feel like that's a slippery slope here, because I feel like if I said, all right, let me just rush through this part, I would get to, and then a beam of white light shows up and he is literally dragged underground.
Yeah.
By giant, terrible looking foam hands. But I will rush through this a little bit. His pieces are bagged. Somebody says, clean this shit up.
Yeah.
To the camera, which is strange. And then they bag him up, and he is then seen kind of being pieced back together on like a metal grate table is where we see him next.
Yeah, we're at a federal morgue in Youngstown, Ohio, I believe is where it's taking place.
Okay. Eventually, we are privy to the voiceover of the medical examiner, who is, like we are doing now, recording the things he is observing into a microphone,
right, making
it worthwhile. And
it's also the last thing that he did.
Well, no. He does one more thing.
He does a couple more things, yeah.
None of it's important. He talks about how he got shot the fuck up, and he kind of is building his body. And then as he's weighing the heart, he talks about how the heart is filled with a viscous black liquid that he can't identify.
And much like the Grinch at the end of the story, it's two sizes too big.
That's true. It then starts to beat, which is a fine effect. I would say that the body here, like his pieced together body, is, I think, a good effect, because it is then indistinguishable from the physical performance. It looks like they took the physical performance and literally shattered it.
Yeah, and what's funny that you say that, because whenever you see because the coroner puts the body parts on the table and he kind of sets all them out, and when you see the leg, you see the hip joint. And so it almost looks like if you took an action figure and popped the arms and legs out of it, the ball sockets are there the same way.
Don't do that to my action figures.
Well, no, I wasn't planning on it.
They're not dolls. But yeah, so that's a positive, is that the body effect is fine.
The effects in this movie are, to me, it's Kane's performance, even though we don't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes.
The effects.
I wouldn't even say 10 minutes. It's 5 minutes.
Well, if it's 8 minutes off the top,
but that's,
and then maybe
he's in that for 5 minutes of the 8 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, maybe 10 minutes of the whole movie.
Yeah. The bad parts about this scene. The doctor's dialogue is like stupid and like kind of edgy, and it's bad and it doesn't play well. He's flat and terrible, and he's super awkward on camera. Like the doctor just doesn't know how to act. I guess because he's a doctor.
Yeah,
doctors can't act, just like actors can't doctor. But Jesus,
yeah,
it's also ugly. The whole set is ugly. It's like your classic, interrogation scene lighting where it's dark around the ring of the outer room and then a giant white halo of light. But the problem is that it then doesn't illuminate your actor. And when it does, it's way over illuminated. And then when he pulls back, it's like you keep losing detail in the scene. And it's like, that's what you want for a scene where something disgusting is happening, is to kind of like be blinded for a minute and then have to look at it. And the whole thing. And then narratively, as he's looking and prodding the heart, he gets a rumble in his tummy.
Yeah.
Unexplicably, he's like, that looks good. And then, like an animal, he eats the heart raw. And then he's Jason.
Yeah.
Fucking red, like dancing lights from Pennywise.
Like jump out of Jason's body and into him.
And then he just goes like dead face. Like,
yeah.
And then, oh my God, there's so many. This movie is nothing but and thens.
Yeah, because another coroner comes in. And he's bringing dinner.
And he's stopped by two guards.
Security guard number 1, no idea who he is.
Who gives a fuck?
Security guard number 2.
Now he gets the pants stiff. He starches you up, but with, I don't know, jizz.
Yeah.
He's very handsome because that's Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
I guess they gave him this part to throw him a bone because he was like, seriously?
Yeah.
This is what you're bringing me back for?
And he gets some good little one-liners in, like little jokey bits toward Jason, and it's fine.
What I will say is that in this performance, because of all the films that I've seen, he talks very little. Even in Hatchet, when he plays Victor's father, it's like the dialogue is sparse.
Yeah.
In this movie, hearing his voice, it's like, wow, he has such a nice, like, I don't know. I expected it to be like gruff or weird, but no, he's got like a very nice speaking voice. He's
like the sweetest person ever. We've got to, you need to watch his documentary.
Well, and allegedly, he will be at Spooky in October, which I plan to be at because I'm getting a new tattoo. From Dean. I scheduled it recently. The guy who did my nightmare tattoo that we've posted on our socials.
Nice.
I'm getting Victor Crowley on my leg, and he's going to be the size of a dinner plate. My mother's going to be furious.
Is that why you're doing it?
No, it's part of it.
Okay, that makes sense. But the second coroner, he makes it in, and he also makes some quote edgy comments toward the dead body of Jason.
Yeah, it's weird,
and it's.
It's basically like, man, you think he's got a big dick? And it's like, what are you doing?
It's these weird, like, kind of meta jokes that he's trying, that I assume, Adam Marcus is trying to make. But it's like, do you like this franchise or not?
Right.
Like, I don't know. But the first coroner kills the second with some kind of instrument.
It's like I don't know what on earth you would use this for.
Yeah. It looks almost like a tuning fork.
Yeah. It's a handle and then two big long metal rods.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's if you see something really, like if they bring in like a really horrific crime scene, you can blind yourself very quickly.
No, please.
Good effect here from our wonderful effects team is he pushes this thing into the coroner's head. Now Jason. Okay, so I guess that's what we have to explain. We have to really establish this, is that
he's coroner Jason.
Right.
Later we'll have like cop Jason.
Jason in this film body hops. That's the premise, is he goes from his old body that got turned into Meath into different bodies. And the way he does it each time is a little different.
Yeah.
The way he behaves in these bodies is a little different. The way those bodies behave, none of it is cohesive. None of it is clear.
He talks. For one moment.
Oh God. And he goes, kill me. Us telling you this is going to be real weird. So just stick with it. If at one point we refer to Jason when earlier we referred to a different character's name, just shut up.
Yeah.
We're trying our best, you beautiful bastards.
But as the coroner leaves,
Yeah.
his reflection shows the hulking
Meafy monster of Meatball Jason.
Yep.
And something I pointed out to you, he's going to leave. And Kane Hodder's like, "Where are you going, Doc?" And then he says something like he calls him a puss or something.
Yeah.
And then Jason stops. Coroner Jason, fuck me, stops and then turns around. And then it immediately cuts to news footage. The news footage is that he's dead. That Kane Hodder died. All those people died because Jason killed them all. Now, he was going to leave. But I pointed out to you, that's just Marty McFly.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Marty McFly being called a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so Jason cares now. I don't know. Maybe I always worry that maybe there's a bit of an echo chamber. Fans of things are always the worst part of the thing, right? And I never want to be like, oh, well, I know how Jason should behave. And I feel like I shouldn't put my opinion of what the character should do onto somebody's work of the character. But we agree that that's odd.
It is odd, but most things about this movie are because, especially when you take it into account of like Jason as we know it as a character.
Okay.
Now, if we take it to be, this is part 9 of this series, and so we're taking everything into account, he's not acting like Jason by any means.
At all.
Because Jason basically moves from person to person and kills them.
Now he's moving from person to person by stealing their bodies.
And he like has an end goal. He's trying to find a specific person to do a specific thing to.
Yeah.
And so it's until someone says something bad about him that he then takes offense to it for some reason, even though he's never shown reason in the past.
Yeah.
Except for that when that one girl was praying and then he left her alone.
Oh, that's true. He loves Jesus and Corey Haim. We cut to really quick with the footage. I think the only thing that's important is the interview, right?
Yeah. Because it's a news report done by Robert Campbell. We'll cover him more later. But yeah, he basically explains information about Jason that we've never been given before. He was born in 1946 to Elias and Pamela Voorhees. He drowned at age 11.
He became a deadite.
He's been responsible for at least 83 murders.
That's pretty cool.
According to the Friday the 13th Wikia timeline that I've been looking at, sets this movie in 2003. With Manhattan taking place in 1998.
That makes sense canon. With the giant cell phones and the not being 2003.
Yeah.
Well, I wish they would stop. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense. This is several movies in a row where somebody's like, oh, well, technically this is set. And it's like, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's set when you've said it. It's set when you shot it.
Yeah. And a lot of honestly, a lot of the dates that I give for these sorts of things are things that we have put on it.
Sure.
Given we are giving more thought into this than the writers and the directors ever did.
That's fair.
Because whenever you say it's been 7 years since the events of that. And then we go, okay, well, if the last one took place in this because of something you said then 7 years later is this, which then makes this, and it just compounds upon itself.
Then I guess it makes sense that they don't have Tommy in this movie because he would have passed away in his sleep in an old folks home. We are introduced in this stupid fucking interview to the worst part of any of these movies ever, the absolute biggest blight on this franchise possible, the most repugnant dickhead ever.
Yeah, Robert Campbell. I said that.
Yeah, Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke. Let me pitch this to you guys. Creighton Duke is a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He is a person of color who dresses up like a cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
His appearance, the way he looks,
that was a stipulation. He wanted to do the role if he got to dress as a cowboy.
Fine. The way the character looks is awesome.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Blade. It's fucking badass. I like his coat. I like his hat. I like his vest. He kind of looks like Woody when you take the jacket off.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm into all of that. I also like the idea that there's a bounty hunter out there who hunts serial killers.
Yeah.
I'm a good old boy. That's what I do. I don't like serial killers. I don't like that kind of evil. So I've dedicated my life to finding them. I'm a good criminologist, and that's what I do. That's a cool pitch. But he suggests that he's done this with Jason before and that there's all this stuff. And then in an interview to the news, he's playing with a knife, and his quote is, Jason, nah, that's not really Jason. Jason wears bodies like people wear suits. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Number one, has he ever done that before? Because at the beginning of this movie, he's Jason.
Yeah.
He's got the fucking mask. Like, how many bodies does he hop that all look exactly the same?
Well, and given the rules that we are then given, he couldn't have, because the only way that he can be reborn as Jason himself is through the body of a family member, which at this point there are 2 of.
Do you think
it's 3 of right now?
Do you think it's possible that Creighton Duke just lied and then it all came true and he was like, oh shit. And then he died.
I mean, would people do that? Just like go on the internet and lie?
Yeah, or like they pretend to be into stuff that they're not to be cool. Like he pretends to be into Jason, but he's not. He doesn't know him at all, or, you know.
There was a bunch of backstory that either was cut out or is like, you know, Adam Marcus is like, this is what I think the backstory of this character is. And that's why you get like some of those lines in the end where it's like, remember me, you son of a bitch. And it's just like, no, why? This is the first time that we as the audience know that you guys have ever met. But apparently, like, it was like whenever he was younger, he and his girlfriend were out on the lake. Jason flipped over their boat, dragged her down. And so then Creighton Duke has now pledged to you know, end Jason.
But here's the thing. If because we made this criticism during Jason Lives, which is Tommy gets out on the boat and he goes, it's me you want, right? And you and I were both like, why the fuck would Jason care? Yeah. Jason doesn't know him at all. The only time Jason saw him, he was dressed up like little kid Jason and also was Corey Feldman. So like he wouldn't have any idea. He certainly doesn't know who you are, sir. He does not know who you are, Mr. Duke.
No.
Anyway.
Creighton Duke is played by Stephen Williams, not Tony Todd, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Would that have made this movie better?
A little bit.
Or is it better that he's not in this movie?
Well, so with the movie the way it is, yes, it is better that Tony Todd didn't do this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephen Williams, he was in The Blues Brothers, the John Landis film from 1980. He was also in Better Off Dead, which was a teen comedy. He was in House, the 1985 horror comedy produced by Sean Cunningham. He's apparently in Jack the Giant Slayer, which was that like 2013 Bryan Singer, Nicholas Hoult movie.
Okay. Yeah.
He's in 22 Jump Street in 2014. He was Leroy Hanlon in the 2017 It.
Okay.
And then he was in Birds of Prey, the 2020 like Harley Quinn movie.
Weird.
Yeah.
Does he play Creighton Duke in that?
Yeah.
And he's like, the Joker's a serial killer.
If only.
Dude, this cold open, by the way, was perfect because now we've also talked about the Joker and Pennywise.
Yeah.
So we're right on it.
Got to tie up all those loose ends. We go to a local diner, Joey B's, which is having a 2-for-1 burger sale because of the death of Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, and that we meet the owner and patrons all at once. The owner is this giant kind of slovenly woman with like bad beat up makeup on.
That's Joey B.
Right. And then Joey B's husband, who she calls Pookie.
That's Shelby B.
His name is Shelby?
Shelby.
That's great.
Yeah, apparently the way that these characters were written was Joey was going to be the man and Shelby was going to be the woman of this relationship. Okay. And then these two actors came in and performed like well in their auditions, and then they had them audition together and do a read together. They did so well together that they were like, no, this is it. And it makes more sense for her to be Joey and him to be Shelby, and them to kind of like role reversal, like gender reversal, the whole thing, and make it so much more interesting.
That's great because Shelby is played by the late, great Leslie Jordan.
Yes.
Who's fucking incredible. And seeing him play like a little straight man line cook is so fucking funny.
Yeah. I was trying to find other like horror things that Leslie Jordan has done. He was in Demonic Toys 2 in 2010. He was in Fear Inc., like Incorporated, in 2016. And then not horror, but he was in The Help, the 2011 period drama.
I think he's in American Horror Story.
Oh, probably. I wasn't looking at his TV credits.
Yeah, because that's what I know him from and then I know him from like kind of the drag centric world as well.
And like his online videos, his
Yeah.
presence there
He's
before his
just-
death was amazing.
He's wonderful.
And then Joey B is played by Rusty Schwimmer. She apparently is a policewoman in Candyman in 1992.
Okay.
She was in Twister. And then later she was in The Belko Experiment in 2016, which was an action horror film that I've yet to see yet, but I want to.
Okay.
But I love their weird little family.
Yeah, just as an example of how Joey's getting on to Shelby about the way he is forming the Jason Voorhees mask patties.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, no, you got to do this. And she pulls more patty, like burger meat out of where the eye holes would be in the mask. And she goes, see, and then mashes it into a little lump and goes, there's a whole new burger patty. And then Shelby goes, I love this woman. And it's just so fucking silly.
Diana works here. Diana Kimball is played by Erin Gray. She's done a lot of TV work. She was in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, both the show and the film. She was in a comedy in 82 called Six Pack, which starred Kenny Rogers.
Whoa.
And she was in a sci-fi action flick in 1994 called T-Force. So she works at the diner, and she is waiting on Creighton Duke.
Yeah.
And Creighton Duke
Assaults her sexually.
Yeah, like awful things to her.
And he's basically like, hey, come here and suck on my balls. And
Yes.
she's like, no. And he's like, yeah, but you're in danger. So you got to listen to what I'm saying. And she's like, okay, but you just came on to me. So no, go fuck yourself. And then the sheriff, I guess, of the town, Ed.
Yeah, Sheriff Ed Landis, played by Billy Green Bush. He was in The River. He was in The Hitcher, which is a horror film from 86 starring Rutger Hauer. And he was in Critters
Oh.
in 86.
I bet he plays a cop in that too.
He is typecast as cops and sheriffs almost exclusively in all of his stuff.
There it is. Well, I almost made this the clip. 'Cause
my God.
he walks up and he's like, leave my girl alone. And Creighton Duke's like, no, she's gonna suck on me. And then the sheriff's like, what? And he's like, you can too. Everybody can suck on me. And the sheriff's like, I'll fucking kill you. And he's like, your girl's in danger. I'm the only one who can help. So suck on me. And it's like the most needlessly aggressive,
Yes.
combative, weird, adversarial tone. And it's like, Creighton Duke is law enforcement from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least a bounty hunter
Yeah.
in the sense that he is working alongside the authorities. So like so I brought this to your attention because he then later goes to prison.
Yeah, he's taken to the jail. And Creighton Duke, like, this is his way that he speaks to everyone.
Yeah.
He is aggressive and combative
Dismissive,
about everything.
cruel.
Yes.
Like,
For no real reason.
and so eventually he lands in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Only to then get removed from prison, and we'll get into how, but he gets removed from prison, and then in the end of the film, he only goes to one other set piece where he is almost immediately murdered. So here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Was that his fucking plan?
To pick a fight with the sheriff so that he gets thrown in the jail cell.
To be there the whole movie until the very end where he gets killed?
Yeah, let's go with that was his plan.
Because outside of that, is he just like so smooth brained and like giga like alpha bro that he's like, nah, suck me. And it's like, what? No, get away from my girl. And he's like, bitch, you suck my dick too. Get over here and suck me, you know? And it's just like, I don't know, dude. It's so jarring and it's so off-putting.
Every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah. He's like, you just haven't had a taste of the Duke. And it's like, I want to Duke. I could come up with anything at all other than I'm going to Duke on him.
I'd love to nuke Duke'em.
That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, he did it.
Blow it out your ass. Yeah. Diana, she speaks to Steven. And
Yes.
we don't know who any of these people are and their relationships to each other.
Steven is a like nerdy man boy with glasses and a horribly receding hairline.
Glasses?
No,
Oh,
not
that's
Tommy
why he
Jarvis.
was supposed to be Tommy Jarvis.
Right, but he's not.
Oh, okay.
He looks like a 25-year-old, 50-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
And his performance is flat when he is anything other than like comedically angry.
Yeah.
And then when he is angry, it is like a Looney Tune.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they would have cast this man.
Mm-mm.
And then he basically is like, well, you know why Jason's after you? And she's like, no. And it's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Do you hear how lazy I'm talking now? And he's like, and she's like, because who cares? I'm not going to use descriptive language. They sure as fuck didn't.
No.
I bet that's what the script looks like. And then she's like, I don't know. And he's like, fuck. And Creighton dude's like, suck my dick. And it's like, oh, this movie's going to be terrible.
Yeah. But Diana tells him basically like, hey, we need to meet up later. I got something to tell you. Which is why then he is driving. Stephen Freeman is played by John D. LeMay. He was in The Couch Trip, a comedy from '88. He was in 54 episodes of Friday the 13th, the series.
Oh, weird.
Which I don't understand what that show is because I thought it was an anthology show, but apparently maybe it's an anthology and like a different thing happens every episode, but he's in it for most of it. And then he was in a comedy from '01 called Totally Blonde. And besides that, it was a bunch of sporadic TV work. But he picks up some hitchhikers here who are going to Camp Crystal Lake to smoke some dope, have some premarital sex, and then because Jason is now dead, they don't have to fear being slashed.
Yeah. Now, Crystal Lake is in Connecticut in this film,
Mm-hmm.
but he was taken to Ohio.
Yeah, and that's the other thing because they mention it in the news report. I don't understand, like because they say like his body was flown back to Crystal Lake, I guess, but it's like I don't understand where any of this is taking place because
Okay.
like part of it is in Ohio. We believe Crystal Lake is in Jersey, but they're telling us that Crystal Lake is in Connecticut in this movie.
It's the tri-state area. It's the shared
Oh,
border with
right.
Jersey, Ohio, and Connecticut. But yeah, he picks up these hitchhikers, and one of them kind of comes on to him and is like, do you want to come with? And he's like, no, I can't. I got to go see a man about a horse or whatever the phrase is. And she's like, oh, okay. And she gets out of the car and they all get out of the car. It's just a vehicle to put more kills in the movie because I'm sure there were none.
Which I will say, one of the best kills to me in the whole franchise is in this film in the unrated cut.
Okay.
Because that is the other thing. There are two versions of this movie, and there's not a lot of difference. I think it's the theatrical is like 88 minutes, and the unrated is like 93 minutes. But it is worth it just for like the few moments of these kills that you do get that you don't get in the original. Because yes, it's a trio of campers. They go skinny dipping and
They go skinny dipping, but they do it wrong.
Yeah.
They go skinny dipping and they come back, and one of the girls is in like a bikini bottom and she's covering her breast with her hand. He is wearing boxers that are not wet, by the way. And then the other girl is wearing like boy shorts and then like a A-frame shirt, like a tank top.
Yeah.
And then this is not important, but I want to point this out. The two of them are the couple, and the one who's in the shirt and the boy shorts is like the tag along.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm going to go to the tent really fast. And she leaves. He then, in front of her friend, like his girlfriend's friend, takes his fucking boxers off, pulling his wiener out. And then she takes all of her fucking clothes off and like she takes her boobies out. And it's like, why did you guys do that right now? Like, it feels so weird. You just went skinny dipping.
Yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to think that they went skinny dipping naked, like you do.
Right.
And then they came back out of the water, put their clothing back on to the extent that we see.
Right. And then they went to the fire and took it back off.
Yes.
And then they put it back on and took it back off. And they did that about a dozen times.
Yeah, it's like a Mr. Rogers thing where he takes, he comes in, he takes his outside shoes off and puts his inside shoes on, and then he takes off his coat and he puts on the other sweater. And yeah, it's all.
And then after the episode, he goes into the closet, he goes down the tube, and while he's going down the tube, he becomes Batman. Everybody knows.
Yeah. But the couple goes into the tent, and the blonde third goes to take a piss. In the woods, and where she is attacked. And for a brief moment, you almost think that you're watching a Friday the 13th movie.
Right.
Because there's some campers, and it's dark, and one of them goes off by themselves, and she hears a twig snap, and she pauses and turns, and then she's attacked by a coroner.
Just a random salt pepper haired gentleman in a lab coat covered in blood.
And he's got like a scalpel that he kills her with, but we don't really get to see that. That's not the cool kill.
No.
The cool kill comes here in a second, because then we have the couple, and then we do, and I don't know if this is again supposed to be kind of like we're making a joke sort of thing, but it's like they're fooling around in the tent. She gets up to go get a condom from his jeans that are outside the tent. And then before she does that, she's like, oh, I also have to go take a piss. So she goes over to the same bush that the blonde went to. And then she circles around in the exact same way. She hears a twig snap and turns her head in the exact same way. And then nothing happens. And she goes back and doesn't see her blonde friend's body now leaned up against a tree as she goes back in to have sex with her boyfriend.
Yeah, after using what... And you pointed out that they both pissed on the same bush.
Yeah.
And the way you had said it made me laugh, and I thought about that like a dozen times today, which is, do you think when they're camping, they like point to a bush and they're like, by the way, that's the piss bush.
Yeah.
Don't piss on any of these bushes. That's the one.
Yeah.
A little sign on it.
You gotta choose the right bush. And we get a killer POV as they're having sex in the tent. We get the killer POV outside moving up, and we see the coroner pick up. I think it's like a camp shovel or something.
Yeah.
And he stabs through the tent. She is on top of her boyfriend, and he stabs through her chest and then pulls it straight up, which bisects her vertically. And in the unrated version, you get to see her body split in two.
Yeah.
And blood splatters all over the guy and he screams, and then we cut away from that. But that kill, that effect is amazing to me.
Why would they sign on to do this?
K&B.
Because they're just having fun.
KMB at that point were still kind of getting their start. This is only a couple years after Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I guess to work on a Friday the 13th movie, even if it's not by title and even if it's got troubled production, it's like, hey man, we're just going to do what we do and hopefully it gets them out. So I guess, yeah.
Diana is then closing up the diner. She goes out to feed a scraggly little dog that lives outside.
Yep.
And the coroner is shown watching her from the tree line. And then as she's about to go back inside, she's startled by Josh the cop.
Yeah, it's like a fake out. It's like a Barney Fife sort of like odd. This whole sequence is weird because he's like in the parking lot of this diner and he's like, but he like lunges at her. And he's like, I'm not trying to scare you. And she's like, why? But he like a car pulls up and it's like this
his girlfriend or
matronly
wife or whoever.
like 1950s like Mary Kay saleswoman.
Yeah.
And she's like, Josh, get in the car. I'm going to blow you. And Creighton Duke from the back of the car, because he's getting hauled off to jail, is like, wait till you get a taste of the Duke. He's a sex pervert.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
The coroner attacks, smashing that woman's head in the car door, which you get for the briefest of moments, but it's hilarious. And then he takes Josh the cop hostage back to the old Voorhees house.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was Josh's house.
No, it's in the Voorhees house because you see because it's like this like homoerotic scene where he has this cop on the like dinner table.
Now remember, he in this context is the coroner from the beginning, but who is Jason?
Right.
And so Jason, you know, the man of 1,000 doors smashes, has now bound and gagged this man.
And his legs are up in like
stirrups, like birthing stirrups. Yeah.
And he shaves his mustache off.
And like his neck.
Yeah.
Because there's a moment where he puts the razor to his neck and I'm like, oh, he's going to kill him.
Right.
And then he gives him a goodly shave.
Yeah. I need to hear Charlie's take on this. Why does any of this happen?
I don't know. I'm not going to read into it the way that, because there are obvious distinctions that you can make with Freddy's Revenge. I don't think this is any of that. I think this is just like, oh, what if Jason's like preparing his next body? And it's like, what if you didn't do any of that? You
because the coroner,
fucking asshole.
The coroner has a mustache. So it's like, is he like, I really don't like this.
I'm not
for
doing
the next
two mustaches.
I'm not doing it. And then the coroner just makes out with Josh.
Yeah.
Because that's how he passes on.
Now, remember, it wasn't before. Before, you had to eat his corpse's heart, and then the what is it? The Pennywise dancing lights? Is that what they're called? Yeah, they shoot into your butt and you become Jason.
Right.
Like in Takes Manhattan, Jason would shove harpoons in people's butts for pleasure and murder.
Yes.
But now it's his soul. But unfortunately, now that's changed. When you're a coroner, you have to take your worm tongue and because your tongue's now a worm, like a big floppy, shitty movie prop worm, like a rubber worm. And it flops around and it goes in his mouth. And then now he's Jason. But we don't know that yet because we don't see any of that actually happen.
Right.
We just see the coroner go, blah, 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 and then it ends. The scene ends.
Yes. Jessica is introduced here. Jessica's Diana's daughter. And she is now dating, through editing, the magic of editing. She is dating Robert Campbell, the news anchor who we saw before.
Yeah.
And she has a baby. And we will get more into them later. Because the important thing here is while she's talking to Diana on the phone, Josh, the cop,
breaks in and
Jason cop.
Yeah. Breaks in and boringly and stupidly murders her.
Well, yeah, he attacks her. She sees, because they're like struggling, and she sees Jason's reflection. And so she pulls a gun and shoots him in the head. Because I guess she was prepared for this.
Oh, yeah. Really quickly, something that we need to mention here. Diana is Jason Voorhees' sister.
Yeah, his long-lost sister.
Because that got revealed a couple scenes ago.
Yeah,
I think we just forgot to say it because, good Lord, my brain rejects that. Yeah, Jason Voorhees, the ageless murderer who's survived decades in the woods to a mother who thought he drowned. Yeah, she also had a different child. Keep in mind, she lost her mind because her only child drowned. But don't worry, she has another child. And if she didn't know about it, Jason does.
Right.
So you don't need to worry about it because Jason, who's now a cop after being a coroner for a little while, knows about his secret sister and is going to kill her, but she shoots him in the head. Now we're caught up. Please go ahead.
I'm glad we're caught up. Steven, after dropping off the hitchhikers, because he was going to meet Diana, he shows up, sees the struggle happening, fights cop Jason off. There is a struggle. And Jason, like he goes to like a knife block in the kitchen, and he pulls out I think it's one of those like stakes that you sharpen the knife on.
Right. Like a metal rod with a handle. Yeah.
And he throws that, and it hits Diana in the back, killing her. And then a return of a fan favorite. Steven stabs cop Jason through the back with a fireplace poker.
Amen, brother.
And he goes out the window. And Diana's then last words to Steven are to save Jessica.
Yeah.
And this is when the sheriff comes in and then finding Diana dead and believing that Steven did it. So arrests him. And now he ends up in the police station jail
next to Creighton Duke.
To Creighton Duke.
Now, really quickly, I'm not a police officer. I'm not a crime scene investigator. I'm not a detective. However, if there was a man who was covered in blood, panting and looking at the crime scene, and behind him was a bloody window that was completely smashed from the inside out, like something had gone through it, and that guy was going, "Oh my God, he just fucking left. He was on the ground. He must have gotten away." I'm not going to go, "Yeah, right. Bullshit." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, even if maybe in the real world that would happen, in a moviescape, there's zero reason for Ed to have thought it was this kid.
He's emotional. His wife has just been killed
Through the power of editing.
Right.
The prison scene isn't really important. First we see him in an interrogation room, and Randy, one of the cops who's like his bro.
Yeah, like his buddy.
Is like, "I know you didn't do it, bro, but I'm still going to put you in the cell." And then, he kind of leads him to a cell. And on the way to the cell, he turns and he sees Jessica and the child, who is his child.
Right.
And I think that's also been revealed.
Yeah, I believe so.
Who cares?
Yeah.
He goes in the prison cell. Creighton Duke's like, "Hey, you want some information?" And he's like, "Yeah." And this is what we mean by that guy's a fucking asshole. He puts Steven's hand through the bar. Like he's like, "Give me your hand." And he's like, "All information costs people stuff. Everything's got a price," is what he keeps saying. You have one of those people in your life, Derek, that gives you advice that you don't want or need, and you don't respect them enough to take that advice seriously. That's what Creighton Duke reminds me of.
Yeah.
Except to give him that unsolicited, unwarranted advice, he breaks one of his fingers every time.
Yeah.
Now, two things. Steven's acting here is terrible because you would not scream bloody murder for 4 seconds and then be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Your finger was just shattered by an asshole in a cowboy hat. Actually, I don't think he's wearing the hat. They probably took the hat because it was filled with drugs. But not like illegal drugs. It was filled with get a boner for 8 hours goat weed pills from the gas station.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. But yeah, he keeps breaking his fingers. And all of the information that he gives him is information that we've kind of already gotten with a smattering of new info, which is Diana was a Voorhees, which means that Jessica, her daughter, also a secret Voorhees. But what that means is that Diana's grandson, Steven's son, his bastard.
Actually, it's a girl.
Is it?
Yeah.
What? You're kidding.
No,
I didn't go to the reveal. But
Stephanie is her name.
It's not Stefani?
No.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Stephanie is there and a baby, and that's technically also a Voorhees. And he says that the only person that can kill Jason is a Voorhees. He doesn't explain how.
Nope.
He just says that. And then he says the only way that Jason can be reborn, truly reborn, is through a Voorhees. Now, keep in mind, he could not have already done that. So Creighton is just going off of maybe it's the Necronomicon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Which was revealed in the next scene.
Maybe his wife was Henrietta or Harriet, one of the two. I get that name wrong from Evil Dead 2 every time. She was in the fruit cellar. I know that.
Yeah, you do know that.
And I also know that it was Ted Raimi in the suit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sweat.
Right out of his ear.
But Steven, yeah, he gets a couple fingers broken and I guess proves himself enough to not have the third broken to get the last bit of information.
Yeah, because Creighton Duke, after breaking 2 of his fingers, looks him up and down and goes, this one's on the house. Like, oh, thanks, man. You really helped me out. You gave me information to stop the murderer who's going to kill all of us. You gave me that information after breaking 2 of my fingers, and now you're allowing me to save my family because now you believe I really want to live and save my family. What an odd choice for a pivotal character in your movie.
Yeah, because, okay, if your job as Creighton Duke is to hunt down and defeat Jason, that's what your whole mission in life is.
That's my life, yeah.
If there was anyone who was like, hey, I believe you and I'm willing to help you, why would you be an asshole to them?
Well, now, in this hypothetical, I'm Creighton Duke.
Yeah.
Because I'm a giant fucking piece of shit.
Oh.
And I want to get my dick sucked by diners employees and then by the sheriff of the town because, you know, I'm open to any of it. I just want my dick sucked. And then when they're all like, no, you creep, I go, I'm going to fight you. And they go, well, you're going to jail. And I'm going to go, I'm going to break your fucking daughter's boyfriend's fingers. And then I'm going to save you.
Yeah, kind of.
Not even really.
No, not really. He doesn't really do much.
At this point,
Steven breaks out of jail.
Yeah, Steven goes on a fucking rampage and he breaks out of jail. He steals Randy's gun and gets out.
And Duke tells him to go to the Voorhees house for information.
Now, again, remember, Jason Voorhees has a house. E-I-E-I-O.
Yes, we meet up with so Jessica Kimball is Carrie Keegan. She was in The Prince of Pennsylvania, a comedy drama from '88. She was in Jerry Maguire, and she was in a 2003 mystery film called Mind Games. And then her friend Vicky is played by Allison Smith, and she has done a lot of TV work, including The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, which was like a TV movie, Hollywood Follies. She is in 2003's Holes film. She plays Linda. I don't know who Linda is in that movie.
Neither do I.
Just by that name. She was a voice actress in The Animatrix, also from '03, and she was in the TV movie about the Charles Manson murders in '04 called Helter Skelter. But Vicky is going to watch over Jessica's baby, Stephanie, while Jessica deals with other things. And so she takes it to work with her at the diner. And then this is where we're reintroduced to Joey B and Shelby, and they get a call that Steven has escaped from the jail with a gun. And so they're like, okay, you can store the baby, hide the baby in the back, and we're just gonna, in case he shows up.
It's like, as we're sitting here talking about it, I'm realizing how all over the place this story is.
Yes.
There's no central narrative.
Mm-mm.
There's nothing driving the plot forward except for Jason is going to kill everybody. But that's always the plot of Friday the 13th movies, and you don't need it to be so fucking complicated.
Mm-hmm.
You could have just done it at the camp.
Yeah.
So
No,
all of
people
this is
didn't want
needless.
that, man. They've gotten that 8 times already. They want something different.
I can't believe I thought people would want that. Anyway, yeah, so
Steven goes to the Voorhees house.
he does.
There's this big reveal for like, he walks up and then the camera like pans up to it and it's like we're supposed to know where he is. And it's like, no, this is literally the first time we're seeing this house. It means nothing to us. It's not a reveal of the Myers house. It's not
Right.
a reveal of 1428 Elm. It's a house we've never seen.
Well, and the other thing is that they say at one point that Jason was born in like 46.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a house built in the 40s. It's just a house built in the 70s.
Yeah.
It's like the way that the tile, like the shutters on the front and like the shingled kind of walls. Yeah, it looks like Elm Street.
Well, and it's like, yeah, and like part of it is like made out of stone, and like then there's like a greenhouse attached to it, like a giant greenhouse window in the front. Bizarre.
They went, let's turn this suburban house built in the 70s into the haunted mansion.
Yeah. Maybe that's what he was afraid of. That's what the reaction was about. He was like, oh man, this window has this. Nope, I already fucked that up. This chamber has no windows and no doors. That's what I was going to say. Just leave this. Please leave this in the final edit.
It's still funny because even if there were no windows, Jason would find a way to smash one.
You're right.
Before he's fucking cops in corners.
Steven finds the Necronomicon from Evil Dead 2.
Who gives a fuck? The other thing that happens is that the news reporter comes in, and that's our clip. And he's like, yeah, I fucked their daughter and stole her corpse. He.
He stole a corpse.
Yeah, which is
He's a criminal.
Yeah, he's also ugly. Have you seen his outfit? He's wearing suspenders. And eventually Jason wears those suspenders because, boom, the scandal. Josh breaks in.
Oh my God.
Cop Josh. And he attacks newsman.
Robert Campbell.
Yeah.
He's played by Stephen Culp. He was in Dead Again, a neo-noir film. He's in James and the Giant Peach as James's father.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then he was in Captain America, the Winter Soldier as Congressman Wenham.
Okay. Probably background.
Yeah, and then TV work.
Man,
Lots of TV work.
we should do a non-horror episode if we ever start to branch out and do other things. Tell us if, by the way, send us some kind of communication if you think that like extra episodes of some kind would be cool.
Yeah. Like if you're already done with all the horror and you're like, could you guys talk about literally anything
The
else?
only thing I want to listen to today is not horror. But James and the Giant Peach would be a good one. I think that movie's wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have an altercation at which point Cop Josh pukes a worm from his mouth into the man.
Robert.
Who you said his name is Stephen Culp?
Stephen Culp is the actor's name, yes.
Yeah, he's Stephen Culpable for a terrible performance in this movie. Back on it. PJ's back on this whole shit. I'm a fuck boy.
Oh man, you want to hear something worse?
Yes.
His name, Robert Campbell. Robert Englund, Bruce Campbell. That's the reference.
This movie doesn't fucking deserve that. Anyway, so then he becomes Jason. And Steven watches in horror from the closet like a cuckold.
As the cop Josh.
Literally melts. Now, what I will say,
like in RoboCop.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like, it's so good that it boggles the mind because it's this excellent like effects work of this man turning into a prop. Because eventually it's not him anymore.
Right.
But it's just like
he's a dude for a while.
At one point, his face is like on the ground and he goes to pull away and the jaw is like stuck to the ground and he pulls his head away from it. Oh my God, it's amazing. But it's also amazing in like the most low effort set that's like bullshit and terribly designed with like obvious, you can picture in your head where the giant fluorescents are sitting above it. I'm surprised there's not fucking boom shadows in this shot. It is so inept the way this whole scene is shot. The only thing that's good in it, it's like, it would be like if you went to like a racetrack, right? Like a horse.
Like a gas station?
No, like a horse racetrack. And the whole thing was like, there's pieces of plywood over windows, everything spray painted, just terrible, terrible. But then like the horses are like gelded with gold and like are like prints, like Arthurian horses. And you're like, why the fuck is something that beautiful and just a giant piece of shit?
Yeah.
That's what the effects in this movie are horses.
Right.
And horses are only glue that aren't sticky yet.
We cut to Jessica taking a shower and the lights go out, much like the beginning of this film.
Yep.
So she goes out to the garage and is attacked by now Jason Robert.
So news reporter Jason.
Yeah.
You can tell he's a news guy because he wears the trench coat.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't. It's just a Kermit the Frog joke. Anyway.
But Steven shows up, saves her. They get in a car and run over Jason.
And then she's like, what the fuck did you just do? That's my boyfriend. And Steven's like, that's not your boyfriend and he's not dead. And she's like, yes, he is. Get me out of the car. And eventually she gets out of the car and like fucking runs away. And it's like, he just attacked you.
Well, yeah. She pushes him out of the car and then speeds away, actually. She leaves him on the side of the road.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, because then Randy shows up to take him back to jail.
Because, yeah, this is one of these things where, like, this scene is... We just needed to fill time and move people around to get them all back at the police station again.
And then guess what? He goes back to jail. So the last 30 minutes of this movie have been useless. The needle has not moved at all. There is no plot, no character, no development at all.
But we got to see that guy melt and the Necronomicon, which is always a nice sight.
I guess it's kind of worth it then.
But yeah, they as they bring him back as Randy brings Steven back to the police station, Robert attacks Jessica there and he like knocks out the sheriff. And then Steven does this weird, because he's already in handcuffs being led into this like hallway. And he does this like weird, he jumps, like his hands are behind his back. And so he jumps up and through to where his hands are now.
Ropes his handcuffs.
Yeah.
But he does not seem the kind of person athletically or coordinated to be able to do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that for sure.
Fuck yeah.
But
I
this
can climb
guy,
on walls. I'm Spider-Man.
No.
Anyway.
And he steals Randy's gun and he shoots Jason Robert, the newsman, at least.
Yeah. His blood is black. I think that's important to note. The cop, news reporter Jason, when he gets shot, his blood is black.
Yes. And then they escape. They leave.
They make their escape to the diner. At which point, Shelby and Joey and their son Ward are all like pointed guns at them. And they're like, Steven, get the fuck out of here. You're not getting anywhere near your own child. And it's like, what? He just explained what's going on, but okay. And they're like, don't you dare. And then Ward's like, I'm going to go outside. I don't even remember why it doesn't matter.
I can't remember why. They give him a gun to protect himself.
He goes out. News reporter Jason is walking up and he's like, hey, man, you got to stop. Hey, man, you got to stop. The news reporter guy kills him. It's so sad.
And then comes in.
And then he gets shot to fucking pieces.
Yeah, like kills everybody in the diner that he can. He like shoves Shelby into the like the fryer. And then he like elbows Joey's chin like up into her head.
Yeah.
Kind of a funny, like a silly effect. And then throws Shelby after frying him up onto like the stovetop.
Pour one out for the only good people in this movie.
Yeah, they're funny. I would watch something with them.
It's like if you could take them and their chemistry and the fun that they bring and replace the fucking psycho lady and Junior, the idiot from 5.
Yes.
That movie would still be god awful.
Yes, it would.
It wouldn't do anything.
No, but it's like that's what they were trying to get at. But these two are like funny and like endearing in a weird way. Yeah, those two are just the worst things.
I think it's probably luck with the audition. You got people that were good that had a good chemistry, just happened to audition. Yeah.
Yes. Vicky, I love like this scene is wild because like the lights are all cut off. They end up shooting like the lights out. So the whole diner set is dark and everybody can use guns really well, apparently.
Well, yeah. It's Cincinnati or Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's one of the
it's
two.
Wherever they are.
California.
And Vicky has a shotgun. And so she like shoots, newsy Jason and then stabs him with like a piece of rebar is what it looks like for whatever reason.
She like picks it up like a javelin.
Yeah.
Like an Olympian. It's bizarre.
And then it's a simple kill. Like the effect isn't all that, special, but I like the kill here as well. Cause like she stabs it into him and then he grabs her and pulls her onto the rebar and kills her on it.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting kill.
It would be a lot cooler if it was like a fucking psycho killer and not a newsman.
Oh, if it was like Jason Voorhees?
That's a great pull. Yeah, dude.
That'd be cool. And then they find a note left by Creighton Duke, who has escaped the jail.
Yeah.
That he has taken the baby to the Voorhees' house. And so Jessica like hops in a car and speeds off. Steven is left there. He finds a machete because we got to get a machete in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move to our finale. We do get a quick cop POV shot as he enters. We don't know who, but a cop enters the diner, looks around at all the dead bodies, and then is attacked by Robert.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think it's appropriate? I know it's the finale, but this is the most embarrassing thing on earth. Do you think it's appropriate to kind of like just speed run this?
Yeah, I mean, as best we can.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. You chime in whenever you think is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the finale is stupid. There's no way around that. Jessica leaves the diner and she gets to the Voorhees house where Creighton Duke is there, and Creighton's got her baby, and Creighton Duke's like, suck my dick. She's like, give me my fucking baby.
Why is it always that?
And he's like, catch this dagger, and he throws like a knife at her, and when she grabs it, it turns into like a bone knife, like a Spirit Halloween prop. A bone knife. Everyone's got a bone knife.
A Kandarian dagger.
No.
Yeah, it is.
It shouldn't be.
That shot apparently is the most expensive shot in the entire movie. That transformation of the dagger into the Kandarian dagger.
That looks like a Disney Channel original.
Mm-hmm.
It does not look good. It's not a good effect.
But for the time.
Yeah. And then Creighton, through odd just pacing of the film and not knowing what to do, falls.
Yeah, there's because every time somebody walks through this house, like the boards creak, but he just falls into almost like a trap door.
Yeah, it's like the wood is weak here, and it makes like a square hole. And he's falling, and he's holding on, and fucking what distracts her?
The sheriff, she's trying to help him, and then the sheriff comes in.
That's right,
and he falls. When Duke
Creighton,
falls,
yeah,
and
she drops him,
and so he's like, that's not the sheriff. That is Jason. You got to kill him.
Right. And also, he's got a piece of like wood or rebar or something through his leg.
Yes. He falls on a piece of rebar as well. Yeah. And then the sheriff is like bloody. And so it's like, okay, well, what happened to him? Then another cop comes in, and Creighton is just screaming up from the basement of just like, you have to kill them. It's one or the other of them, but you have to kill them.
She goes, what do I do? And he goes, kill both of them. And is really weird. And so she fights Ed off, and then
she ends up like stabbing him accidentally almost with the dagger.
Yeah. Now they've both spoken, by the way. Randy and Ed have both spoken in their normal voices with normal conversation. They've both spoken at this point.
So she kills the sheriff.
Right.
And then Randy goes over to basically try and possess the baby.
Yeah, to puke his worm mouth penis into a Voorhees, because this movie is so bizarre. I don't know if it's intended to be so phallic, but it is weird.
Yeah, that's a good point. They struggle. She ends up, he smashes the dagger out of her hand. It slides under this dresser. Steven
Which
shows
ends up being the stupidest thing in the fucking world, that dresser, dude.
But Steven bursts in with the machete and chops the cop's head off, who then... Also kind of a cool effect at first.
Yeah.
The body falls and the head kind of separates off of the shoulders. It almost looks a bit like the Thing.
Yeah. And it's very Resident Evil to me, where the head is no longer controlling the body. It's like in Resident Evil 4, the virus is like an insect. It's like a parasite. And it's called Las Plagas. And it's like, in the game, obviously it's a zombie game. You shoot them in the head, they fucking die. But 4 flips the script on that, where you shoot a zombie in the head, their head bursts, and from it, this parasite comes out. And it is clearly controlling the body. And that's what it reminded me of.
Okay, yeah. Because then a little rubber puppet.
A little guy, a little critter, a little varmint comes out, and it scampers off. By the way, if you look at the movie poster, doesn't look like that.
Nothing like it?
Not a thing. It looks more like weird baby Freddy from Dream Child.
Yeah, it's closer to that.
Or Train Station Voldemort.
And then it falls down. It like attacks Steven for a second, but he ends up knocking it down into the basement, which is unfortunate.
Because it then crawls into the vagina of the corpse of
Diana, Jessica's mother.
Who is a Voorhees.
Yes, she is.
And then from that basement, Jason Voorhees bursts, and he is large and swollen yet again.
It's a lot like whenever he dives through the window of the cabin in the New Blood.
Yeah.
But it's up from the floorboards of this basement.
No, it's like a tuck and roll. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We would have gotten 10s across the judge panel.
They have helped Creighton Duke back up from the basement.
Just in time.
And so they go to get the dagger out from under this dresser.
Which it takes a team of 3.
Yes, including the baby.
Yeah.
And Creighton Duke has handcuffs that he attaches to himself. He has 2 sets of handcuffs.
Yes.
He handcuffs himself to Jason and then his other arm to like an immovable piece of furniture, apparently.
Well, the dresser's also immovable.
Yes.
That's the thing about the Voorhees house. Creighton explains it in a cut scene is that, it takes a Voorhees to kill a Voorhees. Oh, and also every piece of furniture in the Voorhees house nailed to the ground. Impossible to move. Those nails are made of ancient steel that only a Voorhees can move.
Yeah, they really should have left that in. That was important information.
They should have cut out the whole movie. Take the insurance payout.
Oh my God. Then he's like, "Do you remember me, you son of a bitch?"
And Jason looks at him and in perfect English says, "No." The reason I pointed out Randy speaking, by the way, is because now Jason has spoken for the first time in cinematic history.
Yeah, the one and only time.
Yeah.
Well, other than whenever he was like, "Mommy, mommy, help me." But that's whenever he was a kid who was drowning.
But he's not technically talking. He only knew how to say that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then how to say this, explaining.
Jason bear hugs Creighton Duke to death.
He crushes him. The whole time we were watching it together, and the whole time I'm like, Jason, fold him in half. Fold him in half.
If only. The dagger falls through the floor, so Jessica has to go down and get it. Mm-hmm. And so Steven and Jason struggle, and they shatter through that greenhouse window at the front into the front yard. They fight some, and Jason ends up tossing Steven up into this like jungle gym that's in the front.
And then he flips the jungle gym, like he upends it like a table.
Apparently that's the same jungle gym that's at the end of The Birds. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Can you imagine? That would be like that would be like 2 people like having sex in an Insidious movie, and you're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that's the bed from Citizen Kane."
It's the bed that he dies in.
That's where Kane dies.
Yeah.
It's the Rosebud bed.
It's like, really? Why?
Why that movie?
Why did they hold on to it for this long and then put it here?
Just to use it? Nothing. I don't know, man. That's wild.
And then in that struggle, finally Jessica runs out, having gotten the dagger, and stabs Jason in the chest with it.
Then a bunch of big foam hands burst out of the ground. Drag him
all
down.
Those red lights shoot up into the sky.
A bunch of white lights shoot a beam of what you called a UFO tractor beam.
Yeah, like he's going to be, yeah.
And then he is, by giant foam fingers, sucked to hell.
He was number 1.
Oh my God. That's why Creighton Duke had an obsession with sucking and being sucked on, is because he knew that one day Jason would be sucked to hell. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Creighton Duke was the prophet.
Yeah. This is a great movie now that you've explained all that.
It kind of, the sun rises, and our heroes, who are unlikable and terrible, kiss each other on a beach, and then they fuck off. And then that scruffy fucking dog from like an hour ago.
And he goes to take a piss. I was afraid that he was going to take a piss of fire onto the mask.
Because then Freddy would show up.
Yes.
So thank God he doesn't do that.
Freddy still shows up though, kind of.
Yeah, he does. The sand is blown away from Jason's mask. And it's like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like the mask seems like it's got like a layer of paint that's peeling off of it.
Yes, because it almost looks like you can see like the black base coat underneath it.
Well, it looked like metal, and I was wondering if that's why they did the fucking poster just now.
Oh, maybe.
And if they did, that's really fucking stupid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This movie, they did something stupid?
Final criticism. Final Friday, final criticism.
Okay.
From next to the mask, the clawed, gloved hand of a Mr. Krueger Freddy bursts from the sand, grabs Jason's mask, and drags it down into the sand. Great.
Yeah.
Great little cameo. Here's my problem with that. He laughs. Freddy laughs. Would you say that Freddy Krueger's voice from the hit film franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street, would you say that Freddy's laugh is super distinctive? Like his voice and his laughter are very distinct and kind of a through line throughout the entire series?
Yeah, for about 6 movies, we've had really good examples of it.
And what's the studio that made this movie?
New Line Cinema.
Oh, and that's the house that Freddy built.
Yeah, it is.
And so they got access to all those Freddy movies. Now this is 93?
93, yeah.
So they have access to a VCR.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Freddy's Dead had just come out like 2 years prior.
So why the fuck didn't they use Freddy's laugh? Why was it? It's like Vincent Price. It's like, and not the bitch. Again, I'm bad at that. But why? Why wouldn't you use Freddy's laughter?
I don't know.
There can't be a legal reason.
Right.
Cannot.
You own all of that. And especially if you're putting it in your own movie.
At this point, I think, isn't Robert Shea like the president of production at New Line, or like the highest you can go with that production company?
I believe so.
Because he worked on fucking the first Nightmare movie. He's like a partial owner of the intelligent or the intellectual property. I know this is a nitpick, but it is like, man, it's not even the final nail in the coffin for this movie. That was 30 nails ago. I'm just frustrated that you keep pounding nails in because I'm trying to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Like Jason will forever now. Until he goes to space.
Yeah, man. Well, and they got to fight first and, Yeah. But yes, obviously this is a tease to a movie that they've been trying to make since like 1987.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work out for still another literally 10 years.
And the only problem that you have with the fight between them, everything is set up so well. And eventually, it takes a long time to get the movie made. But when we get there, everything's great. The big problem, you don't have Kane Hodder.
Right.
And we'll get all into that next week. But like, hopefully, if you're watching along with us, or if you've listened to these reviews and you can hear the passion in our voices, not having him will be the big sticking point next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even in this dog shit, it is the best part.
Yes. Anytime that we actually get to see Jason as Jason, those are the moments that are not even great. They're good. Because Kane still has such a presence as that character. He perfected who Jason is, how he moves, how he acts, how he feels.
At this point, we've had some of the Jason universe stuff kind of revealed. And we've had a short film which has like a kind of skinnier guy as Jason. And is it just me, or are you also like, why? Kane will still do it. And put him back in the fucking mat. He's older, but he'd fucking do it.
I think he would do it. I don't know. I think that they're trying to just go, it is like a hard reset.
I know. I think, like the director of this movie spoke so blasé about what he thinks the fans would like and was completely wrong. I don't think I'd be wrong in saying I think the fans of this franchise would love to see a modern, serious, well-received film that is made integrally and creatively that has Kane as the role one more time.
Yeah.
He is the best part of Jason's legacy, and the only time we ever get to see him is in really kind of crappy 80s shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the unfortunate thing about that is he came in so late to the franchise that he's in 4 of the worst of them, but his performance elevates them the little bit that he does.
I think it's why I like New Blood so much, because the movie's not great, but because he's in it and because it is the best because New Blood is way better than the other. Well, no, you're going to say X is, but I don't really care for Jason X. But Jesus, we're going to have Dylan on for that one because he loves that movie. Okay.
His opinion is correct.
Do you recommend Jason Goes to Hell? I know, but we have to.
I know. It's the whole thing that we do. No, I do not.
Yeah, I don't either.
You don't recommend the Final Friday?
No, I think that this movie could serve in some capacity as a way to circumvent the Hippocratic Oath to allow people to have assisted suicide.
Wow.
You just said, like the people talk about that roller coaster that you would build, and then by the time you end the roller coaster, you would have passed away.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to stick you in a room. We're going to Clockwork Orange your eyes open. and we're going to play this movie. But by the third viewing, you're dead. We watched it twice.
Oh my God, we were so close.
Yeah. It is just abysmal.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I'm going to have to ask Caroline if she catches up to this episode and listens to it. I'm going to have to ask her because she doesn't watch these movies. She just likes to listen to us talk about them so she can kind of experience them. I have to ask her what the fuck she makes of all this.
Right.
Like the narrative of this movie as we've explained it. Because we take notes about the plots of these movies.
Yeah.
We know what order things happen. We're not giving you a maybe. That's what the story is. And I'm curious what people who have not seen this movie would make of all this.
Yeah. Especially that part where Jesus came out and he did the whole thing. Because that happened.
He threw his sandal.
Yeah, it is. It's not even a movie that's like so bad it's good. I don't enjoy watching it on that. Like I enjoy watching Takes Manhattan way more
Infinitely.
than this.
Yeah.
Because at least like there's a couple characters that I'm like, okay, I kind of like you. I kind of like you. There's a couple kills that I'm like, okay. The only thing that this thing has going for it is Kane's performance when we get it. The effects are good. But like there's not a ton of interesting kills. It's just the few that we do get, those are done well.
Do you think if we took K and B and they worked on Takes Manhattan, do you think Takes Manhattan would have been better?
Yeah, I think that elevates that movie, especially, well, that's another one where like we don't see, it's cut to hell.
Yeah.
And it's just the difference of like 4 years between the last movie and this movie where, you know, the MPAA changed their opinion like they do all the time. So they get to show more in this one. And then at least, you know, this is the first one that we actually got an unrated cut for whenever they released it to VHS and eventually DVD. So you get different versions of it out there. But it doesn't really improve the movie in any way because the story and the characters and the everything is awful.
It is. It truly makes a character that we love. And it warps the storytelling. It warps the history. It warps what these movies could then be. If this movie had been successful and that's just what happens now, it warps any chance of sequels. It's just embarrassing. The reality is it takes a beloved slasher character and basically just turns him into Jason the Clown. Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps.
You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at thatdrosenberg.
You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette
and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty.
The logo designed by Bell DeVelco.
Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington.
Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial. Egg salad and eggs.